Welcome to Limitless Living, the podcast for women over 40 who are choosing to reset and rise without the burnout, without the overwhelm. Today, we're talking about something that may be quietly keeping you stuck, even if you are doing all the right things. And I call it the quick fix trap. And I know before you say, I don't fall for quick fixes, if you have ever felt like you're constantly trying the next supplement, the next plan, the next routine, the next strategy. This can be in business, can be in your health, it can be in a lot of areas. But things don't truly change for long term, and this is an episode for you. By the end of today's conversation, you're definitely going to understand why these quick fixes they feel so productive, but they rarely create real transformation, at least not the kind that lasts, and how this pattern shows up in your health, your work, and even your identity. And I want to give you one powerful shift that's going to help you move from symptom chasing to the root level change that you really are seeking. So, the goal is not faster relief. I know, you do want fast relief. I get it. So do I. Whenever I need relief in something or I want change, I do want it yesterday. I'm just like you. But the real goal here is to have it be sustainable, to have it be a long term, sustainable level of strength and change, whatever it is that we're talking about. So, we live in this culture that we are conditioned to have things immediately, instant gratification all the time. You can, order your groceries and have them at your door in an hour. You can, and not ever leave your house. You can go get a pill for this, go get a supplement for that. If you are tired, there's going to be a supplement. Or if the supplement doesn't work, there's going to be a pill. If you feeling, if you're feeling anxious at all, there's going to be another pill. If you can't sleep, there's going to be another pill. If you are feeling stuck, there's a program that'll probably promise you to fix that and results in 3, 5, or 7 days. Now, let me be very clear. Some of these things can move the needle and give you some relief. That is a fact. The problem is it doesn't stick. It doesn't stay. It's not sustainable. It's not lasting, and it doesn't correct the problem. So I'm not anti-medicine too. I want to stress this here. I am absolutely pro holistic approach to everything. Let's look at the whole person. Let's look at what's going on. Let's look at why it's going on and let's correct the why so the what no longer is going on. Did you follow that? Now, that said, medicine is important. So I'm not anti. It is a last resort in my world, not a first resort, as it is for so many people. And here's where I want to go with this. If my bone is literally sticking out of my body anywhere, which has happened to me in my lifetime more than once, I'm going to head to the ER, which I have done more than once. If I require surgery, I'm going to go into surgery, which I have done more than once. And I'm going to be thankful for the surgeon. I'm going to be thankful for a day or two of pain meds after the surgery. I am going to embrace what we have in terms of medicine, in terms of our Western approach. And I am going to be grateful. Now, what I'm against, though, is that we turn to this so quickly. We turn to this first. We want a quick fix. We go into the doctors, and part of it's supply and demand. And the doctors are giving us what we're asking for. Part of it's their training. They're just not conditioned and trained and taught to treat the root cause and to find that as much as they are to treat the symptoms, sadly, but that's the truth. But they're also responding to us when we were asking for these quick fixes. So, what I am against is the skipping of the deeper questions. The why is this happening? So, a little background, I grew up on a tremendous number of pharmaceutical drugs, prescription drugs. And I mean from a little child all the way through my teens, so almost 2 decades. We're talking multiple allergy medications, steroid sprays up my nose, steroid inhalers in my lungs. I'm talking medications for migraines, sleep, because of course I had side effects. I couldn't sleep from half the medications. I'm talking antibiotics. I got sick all the time. It was just on and on and on and on. I mean, at one point, I was on 3 different inhalers every single day, daily use, steroidal inhalers, along with an oral medication. So 4 medications for my asthma at one point, plus allergy medications, plus a spray up my nose, plus, 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 plus. You get the picture. Steroid creams on my skin. I mean, it was crazy, absolutely crazy. So my mom took me to from doctor to doctor, allergist to allergist, so on and so forth. At no point did someone ask, why is this little girl's nervous system so dysregulated? What is going on and going through her body? What stress is living in her body that's manifesting in this massive amount of inflammation? What foods might be inflaming her? What trauma has she processed? Some of them even knew of some of the trauma I processed. But even if they knew and even if they asked, there was no, doctors just don't treat this way in general. They just don't treat like this normally. And I lost my dad at 6, and I had a lot of traumas. I could go down a nice long list of them for you. But that's not what this show is about. Or the reason I tell you that is so that I can let you know I have experienced much of what I teach. I mean, pretty much almost everything I teach. I haven't just learned, I've actually walked it, I've lived it, and I've overcome it. Because I really believe that when we learn things from people who have walked even a step in the shoes that we might be wearing, then it's a different level of understanding on both sides. So the root work had not been done, and that's what needed to be done to return, or not return. I was a child. I didn't even know where my own power was in all of this. I was just dependent on my parent, dependent on the healthcare system, dependent on these drugs. My mom, of course, was turning to the healthcare system and dependent on the doctors, to help fix, and trusting all of that. Until all of a sudden, it just got to be too many layered upon layered upon layered drugs, and we bucked the system and went to a holistic practitioner. And back then, we found a doctor, Dr. Mike. He was a DO. Now, you might be going right now to a family physician that is a doctor of osteopath. That's a DO. It's normal today. Back then, a DO was a quack. Back then, if you went to a holistic healer or someone who dealt in nutrition or food allergies, they were quacks. None of it, nobody wanted to accept any of that just yet. It's kind of like chiropractors. Back then, that was the beginning of that. It was a DO that did the chiropractic. So you get the picture. So when we finally went to this doctor and then a holistic practitioner, that's when everything changed. That was also right around the same time that I experienced incredible relief in my migraines and my asthma attacks with 2 massage therapists, 2 that I was introduced to. One who specialized in reflexology, another one who specialized in acupressure techniques, both, of course, specializing in stress reduction. Massage reduces stress. So all these things were happening. So this is what turned the corner for me. I, kind of by accident and kind of on purpose with my mom, wound up going down the road of, we didn't know it back then exactly what we were doing, but it was nervous system regulation 101, basically. Reducing the stress, managing things better, calming myself, making my nervous system feel safe. A lot of things we did. Figuring out by process of elimination if there were triggers other than my environmental triggers, and eliminating all the triggers that we could, such as some of the foods. Back then, it was really hard to pinpoint that. There was only a couple that we were able to pinpoint. Since then, I've been able to pinpoint a whole lot more. So we addressed all these things, the nervous system overload, the emotional triggers, the stress, the food. Slowly, I came off of all of these medications. Now, I want to tell you, I was on all of these medications as a child. I literally spent 4 years of school outside of a school on what they called homebound tutoring, where a teacher from the state would come for 1 hour a week in each of your four major subjects. That was it. We had no homeschooling like we know homeschooling of today. And I literally spent 4 years like that. So I came out of this, though, stronger than ever, and was able to get off of every single medication because the biggest common denominator was that I found nervous system relief with the techniques that I am sharing with you throughout our podcasts, in all of my programs. And I just didn't have a name for all of it quite yet. We now know what that was that I was going through. So, my system was not entirely broken like we thought it was. I thought I was doomed forever like that. It was really broken down and dysregulated and just simply needed to be built back up and made to feel safe. We live in this world where we demand speed, we demand certainty, we demand relief really quickly, and that's what the doctors try to give us. And it shows up so much more in our health, but it also shows up in our careers, our relationships, businesses, fitness, all over the place. We want quick fix solutions to our symptoms instead of really being willing to take a look and examining our patterns. So here's the shift. And here's the question today for you. Where are you looking for quick fixes instead of your root shift that might move the needle and actually move it for good? Is it in your energy? Maybe you're looking for quick fixes by drinking more coffee or having an energy drink in the morning or multiple throughout the day or caffeine in a Coke and sugar. Where are you getting your energy from? When maybe what your body really needs is to pause a little bit more and rest a little bit more, and then you will have the more energy, and it's more sustainable. Uh how about your weight? If that's an issue for you, where are you looking for the quick fixes? Is it the next diet, the next 3-day cleanse? What is it you're looking for? The next GLP-1 drug? Where is it you're looking for quick fixes when you should be perhaps looking at the root causes? And even if you're going to decide to use a quick fix as a tool, should you be looking at the root cause and addressing that at the same time so that those fixes actually wind up lasting? How about your productivity? Are you looking for, the next calendar that looks pretty or keeps you on track, or the next budgeting app, or how about your motivation? Like, where are you looking for these next quick hits? You might change if instead of asking yourself, instead of asking what do I take for this, ask what is my body trying to tell me? Because your body's talking to you. Starts out in a whisper, and then, oh my gosh, it turns into a loud scream if we don't listen. You don't have to burn down your life to change your life profoundly and even in a grand scale, but you may have to slow down just long enough so that you can understand what's happening. You can hear and then understand it. So if this episode has resonated with you, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss anything that's coming next. And if you know another woman who's tired of cycling through quick fixes, share this episode with her. If you want to go deeper, I've created a free Limitless Living community where these conversations continue beyond the mic. You'll find the link in the show notes, and we are building sustainable strength in there. I'll see you in the next episode.